When you hear the word bacteria, you probably think of infections. But inside every baby's gut, billions of good bacteria are quietly working, breaking down milk, training the immune system, and sending chemical signals up the vagus nerve to the brain. Welcome to the infant gut-brain axis. That's where probiotics come in. Live microorganisms that might help tip this microscopic ecosystem in a healthier direction. Let's start with what we know for babies. Breast milk is already a natural prebiotic. It's full of human milk oligosaccharides, special sugars babies can't digest, but their gut bacteria can. These feed beneficial species like Bifidobacterium, which dominate the intestines of many breastfed infants. The American Academy of Pediatrics has reviewed the evidence and basically says some probiotic strains can shorten acute viral diarrhea by around a day. They can help reduce antibiotic-associated diarrhea in some children. There is limited evidence for preventing certain allergic conditions in high-risk infants. But there is not enough proof to recommend probiotics routinely for all healthy babies. For infant colic, those endless crying spells, the picture is mixed. Small trials using Lactobacillus reuteri, DSM 17938, showed less crying in breastfed babies given the probiotic compared with placebo. Other larger community-based trials found no benefit, and both groups improved over time just by natural maturation. So even here, doctors are cautious. Some promising signals, but not a guaranteed fix. Now let's talk about the heavy topic. Autism. Over the last decade, multiple studies have shown that children with autism spectrum disorder, ASD, often have a different gut microbiota profile than typically developing children, more of some bacterial groups, less of others, and shifts in diversity. We also know that many autistic children suffer from chronic gastrointestinal problems, constipation, diarrhea, abdominal pain. It makes sense to ask if changing the microbiome might help. So researchers have tried giving our probiotics to older children with ASD. What have they found? Some randomized controlled trials show improvement in GI symptoms and modest improvements in certain behavioral scores in some subgroups. Meta-analyses suggest probiotics may help overall behavioral symptoms slightly when multi-strain blends are used, but not consistently on the core social communication symptoms of autism. And here's the key point. These studies are about treating existing autism in older children, not about preventing autism in babies. Right now, there is no strong evidence that giving probiotics to infants, even from birth, can prevent ASD. Autism risk seems to involve a complex mix of genetics, prenatal factors, early brain development, and environment. The microbiome may be part of that story, but we simply don't have the kind of large, long-term, controlled trials that would let any honest scientist say, "Give your baby probiotics and you can stop autism." Anyone who claims that is going beyond the data. That doesn't mean probiotics are useless. They may support gut comfort and digestion in some babies, help with certain diarrhea situations, and be part of a broader strategy for children with specific GI problems, always under medical guidance. But they are not a replacement for regular pediatric checkups, early developmental screening, evidence-based prenatal care, or therapies that have real data behind them for supporting autistic children. If you're curious about baby probiotics, drops, powders, or formulas marketed for 0 to 6 months, I've put a link in the description to browse probiotic products for babies on Amazon. That's my Amazon affiliate link, which may support this channel at no extra cost to you. Use it as a way to see what's out there, not as a prescription. And before you give anything to a newborn, especially if your baby is preterm, has a heart condition, is immunocompromised, or has any serious medical issue, talk to your pediatrician. Rare cases of probiotic-related bloodstream infections have been documented in medically fragile infants, which is why expert groups urge caution in that population. The gut-brain axis is real, the microbiome is powerful, but in medicine, interesting is not the same as proven. Tell me in the comments, do you see probiotics more as a gentle support for gut health or as overhyped powders sold to anxious parents? And if you want more deep dives where science, conspiracy, and hope meet, from ancient geoglyphs to microscopic worlds inside your child's belly, subscribe to Black Butterfly Key. Thanks for watching.